Hi, everybody who is hanging out with me today. I highly appreciate you guys being here. Um, Today we are going to be interviewing my friend Shine. He goes by Shine Dragon Den 15. I don't know. He's got a few different names, but I'm gonna be interviewing my friend Shine today, one of our members of the community, and we're basically gonna be going over just let me fix something real quick. Let me just make sure I have everybody pulled up because I don't wanna be missing. But I'm gonna be interviewing my friend Shine. Yeah, just so I can make sure I can see everything that's going on YouTube and on Twitch. But yeah, so we're gonna be going over basically his shining. So um, he's been dealing with stuff since he was a young kid, and he's realized he's always kind of had these abilities, kind of empathic abilities and clairvoyance, that he doesn't always express, but he's had a few different instances, and some that have more recently been coming to pass, and that I've even picked up on when we were hanging out, and so has our best friend, or my best friend, BB Nanners. If you guys haven't met her or talked to her, she's been in interviews before. But at any rate, that's what we're going through today. Shine's Shining today on SnosScaryAdventures. Hi, Shine.
Hello, Snow.
How you doing?
I am good. How about yourself?
I'm okay. I'm now my stomach's better, so we're good. Sorry about yesterday. That was the weirdest thing because it was like, it's probably because I'm just too full. No. And then no lie, I knocked out. I slept maybe like 10 hours after that. I just knocked out. It was done.
Sometimes you need a good sleep.
Yeah. Sleep even.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, no.
so I was letting the listeners know, like the viewers know, that you basically have like this ability that you've kind of grown up with, and you've been more open about it as you've gotten older.
Mm-hmm.
But can you tell me more about what it is that started as a kid that made you realize that the there are just some things that you deal with that maybe others don't?
Um, Yeah. So I've kind of realized since I was a kid, I've always been very empathic.
Hmm.
So being able to, I could be around people and be like, "Ooh, something's wrong with them." I could kind of feel emotions around certain individuals, certain people, even people I don't know.
Hmm.
But I really didn't start to understand that until I was more a teenager.
Hmm.
As a kid, I have it now, actually. It's the whole thing of like deja vu.
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
There have been plenty of times where, as a kid, I was just dreaming. I would have a dream and be like, "Oh wow, this is really realistic," and then lo and behold, I'd be sitting in the same situation or like standing and be like, "Oh, wait, I dreamt about this.
Hmm.
This is crazy." So it's almost like a premonition type thing. Um, that was still weird.
It's still weird. Do you still have a lot of that now, or is that more like how like things started as a kid?
That's kind of how things started as a kid.
Okay.
Um, but I know that as a kid, I didn't understand it fully. Obviously, I was
Hmm.
young and dumb. Now I'm just old and dumb. But there was plenty of times where I would be like, let's say at someone's house, like my grandparents or homes that I lived in, and I'd be like, "Ooh, something doesn't feel right." It almost felt like either something wasn't happy, something was watching me. There was just this kind of energy that was around that was like, I'm here, kind of.
Okay. And did it always like bother you, or was it just something that you sensed?
It was just something a lot of the times it was something that I sensed. Sometimes it was actual, like, I would see apparitions sometimes. Like, I know there's someone in my grandparents' house,
Hmm.
because not only have I felt them, I've also seen them.
And like, what's one of the instances that it happened?
Um, well, I think I was still in middle school at this point. Me and my family were sitting down at my grandparents' dining room table,
Hmm.
and I was just eating there, and all of a sudden I was like, somebody's watching me. So where I was sitting at, there's a long hallway to the, well, not a long way. There was a hallway to the left where like all the bedrooms were.
Hmm.
Um, and I looked down that hallway because I was sitting kind of like at the head,
Hmm.
and I was like, okay, I feel like there's something over there. And as soon as I looked, I want to say it was like a woman, or there was some sort of shadowy figure at the very end of the hall in one of the rooms, a room that actually used to be um, my my dad's oldest sister's room. But it wasn't bad. It was just like kind of curious, I guess.
Hmm.
And I looked at it and I was like, because normally if I see something that feels off, I'm like, ooh, no, mm-mm.
So no.
I'll
Yeah.
get chills and whatnot.
Hmm.
But I looked over and I was like, oh, okay, hi. It just did. It just felt curious. Not like there's different types of energies
And when you say you
that I've
see
felt in the
apparitions,
past.
like, did you see like a full,
But this
like
one
it
was more
looked like a
like
full body, or was it
it
just
had
like
that
a?
like childlike curiosity. I was like, oh, what's going on? What y'all doing over there? That food looks good.
Did they look again? Did they look more like a full body apparition, or is it more like you saw like a mist move, or like?
It was a full body. I could see the outline of everything. And it looked like a very basic shadow. Like I didn't see any details, couldn't see like any hair or anything. Um, so I just kind of looked at it for a second. It was looking at me too because it was like, oh, you could see me.
So much like a shadow person.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which that's I have seen shadow people as well, but um, The one that was in my grandparents' house, that was upstairs. They also had a downstairs because they had a a basement area. Because where they live, you can actually do that. I did not like downstairs. One, they had dolls, and I do not mess with dolls at all. They are creepy, and a lot of them can burn in hell. But downstairs was just eerie. Something didn't feel right down there.
What would happen when you were down
It was the whole thing of nothing really happened, but I could feel like something was watching,
there? Hmm.
but the energy was off. It was like not protective. It was
Territorial?
possessive. Yeah, it was territorial, and it was like you're in my area.
Hmm.
You're not supposed to be here.
It's a thing. Just kidding.
This is mine. You can't have it.
Sorry, phasmophobia joke there for those who don't know what that is. But
Fun game. But yeah, I never really. I don't think I've seen anything in there. I just felt that it was off. Whatever was downstairs, it didn't want to be seen.
mhm.
But I think I upset it because I could feel where it was.
Like it
Um,
was, yeah, like it was bothered that you could call it out, basically.
yeah, it it felt even more territorial whenever it was like, oh, you can you may not see me, but you can feel where I'm at.
Right.
Which is interesting because it was mainly in the back corner of the basement, which my grandparents have their own little separate rooms. My grandfather used to do woodworking, and my
Oh, I
grandmother
see.
used
Like
to
big
do,
crafting rooms, kind of thing.
yeah,
Right.
craft rooms.
Okay.
So grandfather had the woodworking area, and then my grandmother had like her arts and crafts area where she would do like sewing, knitting, and whatnot, embroidery. I
Oh,
felt
I
it a
love that.
lot, and yeah, I felt it a lot more in the actual woodworking area,
Hmm.
but especially around the dolls, because that's where my grandmother kept a lot of her dolls.
Did keep talking about these dolls. Well, now I'm curious. Did any of these move? No, I'm just kidding. but
I would have never gone back down there if they did.
yeah.
No.
No, I know. Um,
Just thinking about
so as
it.
you started getting older, because obviously this is stuff that you kind of experienced as you were growing up, but like as you
Hmm.
started getting older, were there ever any instances um, where you were like, yeah, okay, this is something like not like at that point you realize like it seems to be something that I technically am gifted with.
Yes. It was actually whenever, because I'm a military brat, I moved a lot.
Hmm.
There was one home, which is basically where I finished high school at. There, this home was. I had a bad vibe about this house the minute I got in there.
Hmm.
But I started seeing a lot more things. A lot more things started happening to me at this house. For instance, I think one of the first nights that we were there, we didn't have any of our beds or anything. We were just kind of sleeping on the floor in sleeping bags
Okay.
or like air mattresses and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, and we were all sleeping in what would eventually be like the the game room.
Right.
I woke up in the middle of the night as everybody else was still sleeping. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, what the hell? Like something fell off, and I happened to um, look through like a dining area, what would eventually become the dining area, towards the back door of our house, and I saw something that was kind of it was more mist like, but it had a shape to it,
Hmm.
and it was glowing.
Oh, what the?
Yeah, like it had wing like shapes on the sides. And I looked at it for a second. I was like, what the hell is that?
So you're thinking it seems angelic, but we're not sure?
Well, as soon as I thought, what is that? Looked at it for a second, and then not even a second later, it just right up through the ceiling in that area. And I was like, and on that note, covers over the head, we're going back to sleep.
Yeah, right? How old are you when that happened? About.
I was 14, 15.
And
So
did
I
your
was, I
did you
was,
tell your parents like that you had seen something in the house or
I had, because I think my mom also had my mom's also kind of like me.
okay.
She can, or I'm more like my mom, I should say. She's had experiences before too, and she's like, she can always tell when something's off.
Mhm.
So I told her about it, and she was like, "Oh, that's creepy." But it, for me, it was just weird that normally if I see anything, it's a dark shadow, like it's shadowy. Doesn't really have any light to it, but it seemed like it was emitting light as well.
Like this was its own. It was something completely different than what you're familiar with
What I'm
before.
used to seeing, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what freaked me out the most. But well, that and just seeing it be like, "Oh shit, he saw me,"
Yeah.
just through the ceiling. That's when I was like, "No." Um, that was one of the first things that happened in that house.
In that house. Okay.
In that house, a lot happened in this one house. There was actually another situation where it was kind of it happened to a lot of people, but going back to the whole dreaming thing,
Right, right, right.
I'm not normally it's strange for me because I don't normally dream of my own perspective. It's almost like I'm kind of overlooking somebody else, like almost like a third person kind of thing.
Okay, I get it.
But there was one dream that I had where I was, I thought I had woken back up. Like I had fallen asleep in my bed and I looked and I opened my eyes and I was like, wait, I'm still in my room. So I looked around a little bit, but there was one thing that was, I knew I was dreaming because there was a little girl standing right in front of my desk with her back turned to me.
Oh wow.
Um, didn't say anything, but I just looked at it and I was like, who are you? What
Right.
are you doing in my room? And it was strange because it was a little girl that was wearing, that like the stereotypical schoolgirl outfit with the blouse and everything, the skirt. She even had two ponytails with red ribbons tied at the ends. And even though she had her back towards me, I could tell that she was holding a teddy bear,
Oh, like she was like that's weird.
like very,
Yeah.
very childish.
Yeah.
Um, and whenever after I spoke to her, she kind of turned around, but I didn't see her face. It was just kind of covered in black.
Okay.
And then immediately after that, I woke up, and
And
I was
this
like,
was
"Oh shit!"
okay, so this was in your dream, but you thought you were awake at this point.
Yeah.
So it felt like, okay, yeah, I've been there. I don't.
What like?
It's like an in between. It's not quite
Yeah.
sleep, but it's not fully awake, and it's
It was vivid, very
yeah,
vivid.
everything. Yeah, I've been there. As a matter of fact, that's how I realized that there was a young girl that hangs out around here, because I had the same thing. I saw her walk through a wall into my restroom, like a walk through the restroom that's parallel to the wall, into where my
Hmm.
restroom is in my master in my well, but right here in my office now. But technically,
Hmm.
this is considered the master room, right? But like I was laying down facing the door as it was open, and I saw her,
Hmm.
like the back of her, like walk into my restroom from, but
Oh.
like, so I have my door that opens and then the restroom door that they're like side by side to each other, right?
Gotcha.
And that's where I saw her just kind of walk in, and then I woke myself up. Like, I was like, what the hell just happened? But yeah, she's just like, and apparently she likes to hang out in here. Um, we've learned
All
about
the
her.
cool
For
stuff you
those of
got.
you who are curious, you can go back to previous conversations that I've had, or previous streams. Um, I guess we just learned her name recently. Her name is Emma. We just recently learned her name. But
Hmm.
she, yeah, you could look those up. Basically, she's a young girl. She's about 16 years old, and she's not very tall. Cause I did see her as like shorter, but but she 16-year-old, but because she comes about the reason she likes to go into my restroom is because she likes to look at my makeup. She likes to play with my stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's about right. That's a 16-year-old. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
and that's why she likes to be in
Makeup.
this room. And then she likes to be in the room even more so because of that. Like, I'm pretty sure if I turn on the REM pod, you'll see it go off because she likes to be in here because she likes all the girly stuff in here. I'm like, cool. And it's funny because she's more of a prep girl, so she's not really into the stuff that I like, but she likes the pretty stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so she goes after my makeup, and I have a lot of makeup stuff in here. But
Love that.
at any rate, like, I think it's interesting to be in that mid state, and I've been in that mid state a lot, and unfortunately, it's not my favorite place to be because
Hmm.
even though I've had situations where it was like what you just saw, like the little girl just standing there, or me like seeing her just walk through, or
Hmm.
sometimes I've seen like other people just kind of wander about right as I'm in that stage, and it's just and it's like a nobody. It's not really anything that like that scares me. But I have been in those stages where it's not. It's like in most cases, unfortunately, that state is not something good.
Yeah.
Like what I have to confront is not something good, and I can't stand that. Have you been in situations like that?
I will. I'll actually touch on that because um, the little girl wasn't finished.
Oh, so you saw her again later?
um, I didn't see her again. Um, I was actually talking with my dad, telling my dad this story, and he was like, "Oh, that's creepy because I saw the same little girl in your room, the same spot, in his own dream."
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So she was
And
presenting to like everybody in the family, basically.
didn't it only presented to me and my dad?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Now that's scary because little girls usually only present to men.
And I know I don't think my brother ever saw the little girl. But I know I was actually talking with some people at when I was part of my youth group at the church I used to go to,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple of other people also saw the same little girl, but obviously not in my room. So it seemed like something was going around. But the fact that my dad saw the same image of a girl, and
Yeah,
not only that, but in my room
that's creepier.
was, yeah, because I haven't talked with my mom about that, but I don't know if she saw it.
I'm just curious because I do know in situations that I've experienced, not experienced, but well, I guess kind of experienced too. Oh, I'll explain that maybe later, but we'll get into that. I've never done a podcast or like where it's just me talking about all my stories. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot. Like, usually a lot of stuff comes up in the middle of a conversation, but
Hmm.
um, and the experiences that I've known and that I've and somewhat been in as well, um, quote unquote little girls present themselves to men because it makes whatever it is less threatening.
Yeah.
So it's easier to like manipulate. I'm just a little girl. You know what I mean? So that's why it throws
Yeah.
me off. Because I feel like you felt unease and then your dad saw it in your room. So I don't know what I would explain about that.
It was strange. And I definitely did feel uneasiness because I was like, first off, what the hell are you doing in my room?
Yeah.
Second of all, try to sleep.
What the hell are you doing in my
The
room?
hell? The hell?
Second off, What the hell? Still back to the what the hell.
Yeah, and it felt deceptive because I was like, I don't. It ultimately didn't feel right. Something was wrong, and it's interesting because I can still see her, like in my head. I still remember it vividly, and that's one of the I don't remember my dreams a lot of the time. Um, so the fact that I can still remember this vividly, I think it was I forget what the term is, but it's like where you can control your dreams in a sense.
Lucid.
Yeah, it's like lucid dreaming, but it seemed like it was presenting itself to me. Like saying, I'm here.
Right, I've been there. I
Don't
hate
be
that.
stupid.
That's not fun.
No. Because the house it was just always creepy. There was always some sort of noise going on. Um, I know that there was something there because it's kind of a little side tangent, but there was one time where I was getting ready to take a shower. And of course,
Yay! Just kidding, no.
yeah.
I don't stink, I swear.
There was, um, I take warm showers because I can't stand the cold. I am not built for the cold whatsoever. But I was getting ready to take a shower and I was letting the water heat up, and I typically wait for the water to go through the actual, instead of going through I let it go through the faucet first so it warms up a little bit quicker.
Right.
So I tested the water and immediately I had to pull it out. It wasn't hot, but it was like warm water. It wasn't hot. I pulled my hand out and I looked at it and it looked like I had been burnt with acid on my hand.
What?
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I looked away for a second and then I looked back at my hand. It was gone.
Like your hand was fine.
Yeah, my hand was fine. And I was like, I felt the pain.
Oh my god.
And I still don't, I haven't told that to many people, but that's still one of the weirdest things is like, I've never had, it's almost like something was telling me like, somebody got burned around there or something.
Yeah, like there was like
That's what it felt like.
Right. Like they're trying to like show you something that happened, not just.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And it freaked me out because I think it was only like me and my mom home. And whenever that happened, I was like, what the hell? I just kind of stood there shaking like, how I've never had that happen. I do this all the time, but why this time do I have, why does it look like I got
Right.
burned?
You think you're going crazy and you realize like it's just something random. Yeah.
And then I like had to like, I think I even turned on the sink and ran under cold water.
Mm-hmm.
But like the minute I put my hand underneath, that's when it was like, your hand's fine.
Yeah.
Granted, this could have also been I was in a very, I was not in a good mental headspace around the time that most of the stuff was happening. Like when I said I'd actually seen shadow figures, I used to ride my bike a lot whenever I was feeling overwhelmed, dealing with, hormones and whatnot. But there was the darkest point where like depression hit was really, 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 really evident. I was riding my bike and I always have to have in music because music typically calms my brain from thinking too much.
Right.
But as I was going back towards my house, there were shadow figures all over the streets.
Interesting.
Some of them were hiding, but some of them were out in the open just watching me. Obviously, I didn't think much of it then, but because I'm not in a good space.
Right. I find it interesting because I've talked to people about how one of the indicators of depression, or that you're dealing with like MDD or something like that, is shadows. You see shadows,
Hmm.
and I find it interesting because they say, oh well, it's a mental illness thing, right? Hi, Sims. And I find it one of the reasons that I'm taking courses in parapsychology is for uh and mind you, these are like mini courses. These are like just to be like
Hmm.
certified as a parapsychologist. I'm trying to finish that. Aside from my actual degree, right? And then eventually I want to go into like full on parapsychology at a university get when I get further down the road. But the point being is one of the things that I'm trying to prove is that mental illness is not it. That's what we want to play. That's the scientific quote unquote understanding of what's going on with you, because they don't want to accept the fact that it's a spiritual attack.
I
Does that make
understand
sense?
that. Yeah,
Um,
and I think that was another big thing is because I was big into the church that I went to
oh yeah.
at that point. Like I was helping out. I was part of the youth group. I was helping out with the band and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
both the actual service band and like the youth band. Hell, I was even helping like teach younger kids about like the Bible and whatnot.
Yep.
So,
I'm not surprised. I am not
and
surprised. I've told people, I'm like, the closer the and it's something that I had to tell my son recently too. Okay, that your spiritual attacks don't come when you're uh don't come if you're like not involved with church, or not
mhm,
involved with following your faith or being more spiritually aligned. Your spiritual attacks come when you're aligning, because
yeah,
because what like and I told him like you're not a threat if you're worldly. You're not a threat if you're allowing yourself to always fall into what we understand as sin, and being led by like earthly and fleshly desires.
mm,
You're not a threat, because well, there you have it. And that's the reason why you'll have people that'll be like, oh, I've never experienced anything. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised, because you're very low vibration.
yeah,
Like, and that's the reality. Like, and it's sorry, like, I'm sorry to like say that, but that's the reality. Like, if you're so much in the flesh and in like in the like the physical world, of course
mm,
you're not gonna be aligning with anything spiritual. Like, you're just not, because you're not there. You're not there. You know,
yeah,
and when you're like you said, you were very involved. You were even helping lead others. You were in a situation where you were finding your faith, and you were actually finding your connection with God. You were uh finding that motivation in God, right? Like
hmm,
in a relationship with God. Well, then now you're a threat, because
yeah,
now what do? Now you start leading others out of this dimension. You know what I mean? So now you're a threat. So then what's going to happen? Now you're going to get attacked. And that's where depression comes from, anxiety comes from. That's why, you know what I mean? It's that those spirits of, you
yeah.
know how you usually hear that? Like, oh, the spirit of fear, the spirit of depression, the spirit, because that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. It is the embodiment. It's a type of it's a type of shimirin that's trying to oppress you,
Yeah,
so that you turn away.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
When you started kind of coming out of that, did you notice things that were like different around you?
Um, yes and no. I'd still feel whenever things were looking. Because eventually I did leave the church, partially because I wasn't liking the sermons that was being spoken about, and I'm a very inclusive person, where I'm like I don't. Obviously, the Bible has its own interpretations, and people interpret things differently.
Right.
But there was some things that didn't sit right with me, where I understand the like trying to grow the church and whatnot, but all the sermons every single week were like, "We need money. Oh, if you could be so kind as to give us money to help build us
I
a new
understand
church,"
it.
I was like,
I understand it.
because it was also during the time of like, you're speaking more about the future of the church versus like being in the present
Right.
of like feeling what needs to be talked about.
Right. No, I get it. I get it. A lot of times, unfortunately, and it's funny because scripturally, you can't serve two masters. We already know that.
Yep.
And when we're dealing with people who are, um, what's the best way of saying it? When we start walking into places of worship that are starting to focus more on what they can get than what they're giving, then that's when you've lost the people who are hungry for the word. You know what I mean? Because we're recognizing that now you're sinking because now you're not paying attention to the right thing. I've noticed that the churches that wind up booming, like the mega churches that like grow organically. That's the best word for me to say it, because there are mega churches that don't grow from pushing that wallet.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, some of them did, but they took longer to grow. Does that make sense? Because all they did was push that wallet and that like mentality that like, well, you need to give money so you can show that you care. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the whole attitude that I don't like that.
Couldn't be there. Yeah. Oh, I know. I understand that. That's one reason I left a church here too. Same reason. It was just like, can we stop? Can we stop? Like, we don't need 5 minutes to talk about tithing. Like presenting the fact that today is right now is the tithe. Got it. But 5 minutes of guilt trip for the tithe, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's guilt tripping.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but I have seen there's one big church that I like to follow, and they've like within the last, like I would say about 8 years, they've gone from like a small little church to like something huge. I mean, when I say huge, like to the point where like they're constantly expanding their church, like in their area, like into other like sub churches out of them, right? But when I say like when they are like, because they organically grew, they genuinely grew in like faith and like just walking in faith and believing that in faith they're gonna meet what God asks of them, like, right? And then in that case, like, God will give to them what they get or what they're able to show, right? Steward.
Yeah.
They like, I mean, this one particular church grew exponentially because of that, and they but like they even give back to their community like tenfold. No lie, like once a year they're giving back houses, cars, like they're better than Oprah, like, you know what I mean, like, and because they realize that they've been given this, and they're like, no, this needs to go back, like this goes back,
It's like the whole thing of pay it forward.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. And they
help thy neighbors.
And then it's crazier because then they just get bigger and they're like, now what? More? Then we have to give back more. Like they understand that there's that mentality of it. And but then once you start, when you go there, like once you start leaving a church, because you recognize that it's no longer what it is, then your mindset changes. I would assume that's probably what you went through too. Right? Because you stepped out because you figured like that's not aligning with me.
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons.
Did other things start happening after you stepped away? Like, does that make sense?
I would say so, because there was a big change in my life, because I tried to stick after I had graduated from high school. Still wanted to help out. That's where actually was like, yeah, I'll volunteer as like help out with the youth, the younger kids, like elementary school kids.
Uh-huh.
Because apparently I have good vibrations when it comes to kids. I just know how to be around them. I'm goofy, so.
Ta-da! Who would have thunk it?
But shortly after, I had started a new job where I like to call it my full-time, part-time job,
Got it. Okay.
and was starting college.
Uh-huh.
And I went for engineering, so it's kind of hard. There's a lot of homework.
Oh yeah.
It takes hours. It's a lot of math.
Oh, I know. I was married to one. I helped him his last 2 years of school. I know.
Ooh, yeah. But I didn't notice much. I know that a lot of stuff started happening just like in the real world, nothing like spiritual or like having to do with me seeing things. Just bad things would happen. Because I think actually shortly after that, I used to play baseball, and I had actually injured myself to the point where I can't play baseball anymore. I can't even throw a ball without my arm hurting.
Oh.
And like losing pets, obviously, bad situations just kept happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that shortly after, I think I was trying to be attacked in my sleep.
You were trying to be attacked?
Like something was trying to attack me in my
Oh,
sleep.
like you were trying? Something was trying to attack
Something
you.
was trying to attack
Okay.
me because you know the whole trope of if you have a nightmare, typically like you run slow, you can't outrun whatever is chasing you,
Right, right. Uh-huh.
and you're always just scared. There was something that was messing with me in my dream, and it was like throwing stuff at me. Like I was in some sort of basement. I think it was actually my grandparents' basement.
Oh, like you were seeing like their basement while you're... Yeah, okay.
But it wasn't quite the same. There was like a little armoire
Mm-hmm.
with a mirror on top of it. And I was looking into it, and I just felt like something was behind me, and
You were looking into a mirror in a dream?
yeah, I know
That's-
that's not a good thing either.
That's weird, yeah. Okay, and
But I
then...
didn't see myself.
Yeah, see? Weird. Okay.
Also, do not put or do not put mirrors face to face, because that's a portal, and no, don't do that.
Yeah, it's a vortex. Don't do that. Yeah.
But I had an inkling that like something was behind me, and it like threw something at me. Like it threw a brick at me.
Oh my god.
And I dodged it, and instead of being like, oh my god, something just threw something at me, I was like, are we really trying to do this right now?
Oh wow.
Normally I don't get mad in my dreams.
Uh-huh.
But I was upset. And then shortly after, I think I had walked toward, like, to get out of the basement, but then I was in the actual house that I was living in at the time. And I think I had walked out of the room that I was currently staying in, because I had to move out of the previous room where I saw the little girl, because it was not a good vibe. And it felt like something was toying with me. It was calling out to me. And it was irritating me. I was cursing it out. I was furious. I'm surprised I wasn't screaming, like, actually in my sleep. And eventually I'm by the stairs that lead upstairs to that house. And I look out the window and see that there's somebody, like, moving on the roof through the window towards my old room. And I was furious. I was like, we're not doing this right now. What the hell are you trying to pull? I opened up the door and walked towards the window, and actually opened up the window, and a bright light shot at me. Almost like, you know how in movies and stuff, they have, like, the main spotlight on the character?
Right, uh-huh.
That's how it was like, and then I woke up. and I was hyperventilating.
Yeah, I would have been.
But like it was to the point where I was like, oh shit, okay, I woke up angry. Um, and that very often do I have a dream where, and it was the same one where it was like with the little girl where it was vivid. I was looking at it as myself,
Right.
like through my own eyes. And I knew what was going on. It was just something, I knew something was toying me, and I was just so over it. Because I was having family issues at that
How
point,
old were
too.
you at this point?
I think I was like 19, 20.
Yeah, okay. So just right after. Okay. Just a
But
little
the
after.
fact that yeah. Because I think I was dealing with personal family issues. I was dealing with, I think, a potential interest of mine. My ex-wife, actually, was toying with me. So I was in a good spot.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know the whole thing of like stupid guys? Hi. But the fact, I think it was, there was a lot of anger, hate, and sadness in that house. And obviously, being an empath, I tell this to everyone: walls can hold emotion, and that's why I can't go to like I can't stand hospitals.
Oh,
I immediately want to start crying as soon as I walk in.
I can understand you. I can understand.
Or like I used to go visit my ex's um my ex's grandmother at, it was a mausoleum,
Okay. Oh yeah.
and I was like can't do it. I was like I feel like I'm immediately gonna cry. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overstimulated, and but I obviously stayed. I was just like, I'm just not gonna talk. I'm gonna try to make jokes and try to be like, or try to make other people feel better. That way, it'll make me feel better.
Right.
But I think feeling emotions isn't fun, especially whenever you're not in tune with your own.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Which maybe going back to what you described it earlier with that something is following me. I'm starting to think if that little girl was like the omen, that something was going to
Yeah.
kind of attach itself to me. Because really, after I had moved out from my parents, and like I moved in with first my friends, and then my ex moved in, um, stuff never really happened whenever I was with my other friends, mostly because they didn't believe that. They're like, it's all hocus pocus, hoodoo voodoo, whatever. Even though I did something very stupid and I played it with a Luigi. Nothing happened too, and I was kind of disappointed, but also like very grateful that nothing happened.
That you know of.
That I know. Well, yeah. Apparently something did happen because my wife would have dreams where like she was getting thrown.
Oh.
Like thrown from the bed into the wall.
Oh my gosh, that's scary.
And like dragged, like think like Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Getting dragged across the floor. And I was apparently in those dreams too. Apparently I was just fast asleep. So I think something was like telling her like looking back at it now, I think it was kind of trying to protect me.
Oh, interesting.
It was warning her like, you better go, because you're not good for him.
Wow.
Which, the more I'm talking about it, the more like dots are connecting. And And this was when we lived with my other roommates. Whenever we moved out to our own little place, some stuff would happen. Like there was a time where I was streaming, and I had just finished the day of streaming, and I'm just doing stuff on Minecraft afterwards because I was like, I need to get materials so they don't have to watch me do this. Then all of a sudden, we both hear a knock,
You and your
like
wife
go,
at the
oh,
time.
at the same time, but we're in separate rooms. So we hear like I don't remember if it was 2 or 3,
Just knocks.
just knocks.
Okay.
But at first, I was like, was that a knock on the window? And and I could hear her in the bedroom going like, babe. I was like, shush, I'm listening. That wasn't, because we were on the second floor.
Oh, yeah, that's weird.
So at first I was like, was it the window? But then I'm like, we're on the second floor, and there's no way somebody's just throwing rocks like do at the window. It sounded like it was on plaster. So then I realized, like, if she heard it too, it was on the inside of the wall, in between us, dividing us.
Oh, interesting. Ugh.
Yeah. And this was the first place when we were still dating, that stuff like that would happen. And she had the dreams there as well of like her getting thrown and her getting attacked.
Mm-hmm.
But then we moved. We moved up north because of my job, and there was, I think it was the entity that you've personally seen. Normally that's sitting
Yeah, the one that likes
right over
to
there.
hang out.
Yeah.
Do you think that
There
this
was
is
one
the same
time.
one, like since then?
I think it is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because maybe that's why it's upset with me, because it's always Mike Wazowski. I'm always watching.
Mm-hmm.
But there was at the townhouse that we were living in. I was drunk.
Oh, how dare.
But I could feel the energy wasn't right. And I think it was like right after D&D too, because I had just joined a Dungeons and Dragons campaign where it is not for the lighthearted. Just gonna say that. But I was about ready to go to bed, and I could tell that something was fucking around with something. We had all 3 of our cats with us, but I was like, something's angry.
Something doesn't seem right. Doesn't feel right.
And so I creeped her out with this because I was like, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome right now. I don't like the energy you are giving off. It is not good. And if you're gonna be like this, you are not welcome here. And I like freaked her out because I was actually starting to get like really heated. Because it was like arguing. It felt like it was arguing with me and it wasn't listening.
Right. Yeah. I've been like you can sense the
Almost the bickering.
yeah,
No,
like
I'm gonna do what I want.
You can sense the intent. There you go. You can sense the intent, even though you can't like audibly hear it or audibly see it or visually see it. You can just sense everything that they're, and that's part of the empathic part of it. It's just like you're literally feeling what they're feeling, and so that's when you're like, excuse me, goodbye.
Yeah.
And what makes you think that they were like upset at that time? Like, was there something else going on like around your life at that time that might have made that happen?
I think it was more so of what was going on behind my back. Because let's just say that my ex was not the most loyal.
Yeah, no, I understood.
So I think it was that's why she would only have those dreams. And she was like, "Oh yeah, you were just sound asleep," and I was like,
Struggling, fighting
nothing,
something.
nothing felt off, but it'll be all right. I'm here, trying to be the protector and whatnot.
Right.
But even after she had those dreams, I was like, nothing feels wrong. So it's strange that you're having those dreams. Now it makes sense.
Now it's all clicking, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that this particular entity, do you think that it's a guardian of sorts? Or do you think it's just an
I don't.
attachment that knows what's going on?
I think it's an attachment that's worried.
That's worried. Do you think this attachment has like a possessiveness about you? Like, does that make sense? Like
I
this?
think so. I think so. I think that's like we had talked about it. I think it was karaoke last time,
Yeah, a few
where you
times.
were like, he was standing right there, and he was just kind of like pouting.
No, I saw him in the doorway when I saw him.
Yeah, you said it. He looked like he was kind of pouting,
Right.
because there was a couple times where, well, most recently I actually went with a couple friends to go to a lake house that one of my buddy's family owns, and I went to go take out the trash in the middle of the night in woods. Already don't like it.
Yeah, that's not fun. That's the beginning of a horror film.
Yeah, that's why I was like, and but for some reason I felt an energy towards the woods to the right of where the trash can was,
Mm-hmm.
and I just kept on staring at it. I was like, I don't like that energy. Um, and then eventually I got back inside and I was like, I was freaked out because I was like, something doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Almost like a bad omen type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I ended up walking toward like out onto the back porch and just sitting out there because I was like, okay, I need to calm down. But I kept on looking behind me because I was like, I know you're there.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same kind of like somewhat in the distance, but still had an eye on me. Because I would look directly at the tree, and even better, I was talking with one of my other friends who I think is also sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, yeah, there's something out there, and I was like, yeah, it's probably the thing that's following me, and that's why I think it's been with me for a while since I can remember. I can't. It definitely seems like it's possessive for sure. Whether or not it's possessive because it thinks that
What do you
uh,
see when you think of this particular entity that I think I've seen? What do you
I
what
see a
do you
tall
see?
gentleman.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like it's a tall gentleman. Um,
Do you think
so
he's about your age, or do you think he's
he's older.
okay? About?
At least that's how it feels. Maybe like 40s,
Okay.
50s.
Okay. I'm trying to see if what I saw is what you see. You see what I mean? That's how
Well, that's
like
the
I can
thing
confirm
is
because I haven't told you anything about what I've seen.
no.
I just know I.
Based off of how it feels like they're taller than I am.
Mm-hmm. How
Like
tall
they're
are you?
definitely taller than the doorway. I am 6'3".
Oh yeah, he's big. Mm-hmm. And then?
He's tall. He's at least like 7 foot, 7'5".
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm guessing.
Okay.
Um, he's lanky. He's definitely older. Because I for some reason in my head I see wrinkles around his eyes. Like he's got the wrinkles on like his cheek area, his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, definitely like 40s to 50s for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's lanky, but like a weird kind of lanky.
No, I get it.
And I think that's
He's like
part of the
lanky, but
reason.
he's broad. Like he's got
Yeah,
like broad shoulders. Yeah.
he's got
Mm-hmm.
wide shoulders,
Yeah.
and that's kind of I don't see him. I just know that he's there. Like I sometimes whenever I feel like something's there, like I'm getting the chills now, so I know he's kind of here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's been kind of about.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just walking around because he knows that you're here. He knows that you can see him. So maybe that's another reason.
Yeah,
But
he hasn't come into the room. I haven't seen him in your room. I've just seen him
no, I
in and
felt him
out
like
from the
right.
back. Yeah, in that
Yeah,
door
right in
again.
that dark corner,
Yeah,
right there.
that's exactly where he likes to kind of peek in and out of.
Which is funny because that's my room. That's where my room is, where I
Like your
sleep.
actual bedroom.
Yep.
Oh, what are you in like the living room area? I guess now.
No, this is I was, but this is like a little office area.
Oh, okay.
It's a small little 2 bedroom apartment.
Oh, okay.
But for but what do you see with this guy? Because you haven't told me, but we talked about him, but we both agreed that he's tall.
No, big. All I see was tall and broad. That's what I saw. I never saw like very tall and broad. Like I could see him. Uh, like I could sense him like almost at the door. Like almost at the door. Does that make sense? Like I could see him that big. So, and then almost like like when you come across an older man who's like, get off my property, like that kind of shit. Like that's the kind of
Yeah,
like mentality or like the kind of like vibe I got from him.
possessiveness. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the thing is, like, I'm not knowing exactly where it's coming, like why it's coming, but I just felt it. And I remember being like, why is your stupid door open? Shut your fucking door.
Yeah.
Like every time, because I kept feeling like somebody was standing there. Like right now, he's like,
Hmm.
he's not about. He's really not. I think he knows it that I can sense him because, and it's funny because you have that dark area right now,
Yep.
right? And then that goes through your room, right? If you look up, I don't know if it's a vent or something that I can see from here, like towards
No,
the
so
top.
that
So kind of like
that is actually just I think that's where piping is going, so um it's like a little underhang.
yeah. So okay, so I'm seeing that right, but
Hmm.
earlier, like I could see it, I couldn't see it. We're gonna put it that way.
Yeah, I think right about the same time that you saw him, I could feel it.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, because I got the chills. Normally, if I get the chills, that means
you
something's
can
there.
sense him there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's not. I can't sense him as anything.
he's just there. I think he's watching over,
Yeah,
kind of
and
like a
I don't know if he's a guide. I don't. I'm not. You know what I mean? If he's a guide or if he's just an attachment. And I feel like that's the case. Maybe he's just an attachment, and I think he's just a kind of like somebody who understands maybe what you're going through, and maybe that's the
yeah,
reason why he's like he's protective, but
yes,
not because he has the right to be so, just because he doesn't like to
he
see it again.
understands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's really interesting, and I think right now he's like, I think he's like happy in the bachelor pad idea going on right now.
hmm,
Yeah, and I think I'm not sure where he comes from. The fact that he's as tall as he is, it throws me off because that's rare. Do you know what I mean? Like that's such a rare, like the height thing is like so rare. I think I don't see
well,
him. How tall are you again? Would you say?
I'm 6'3".
Yeah. So he's like, I'm picturing like maybe 6'8", 6'9". Like he's almost 7, right? But he's like
Yeah.
again, he's like almost at the door, like at that
Hmm.
frame. Uh,
Well, it's also funny because there was one relative that I have.
See, now it's darker. Okay, now it's not. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, no, the minute you said that, I felt it. It does kind of.
It messed with my camera too, by the way, when I saw it.
Hmm.
So if that doesn't tell you, you can stay where you
Yeah.
belong. You don't belong here. You're over there. Thank you. This is not you're not in this space. You're not welcome here. Thank you.
It's be fine. We're not talking bad about you. We're just talking about you.
Hmm.
Promise it's nothing bad.
No. I commend you for keeping an eye on this guy. That's it.
Yes, thank you.
There you go. Yeah, and
'Cause
actually, that's
Lord
probably
knows I need to
that's
watch her.
probably more of what
I
he
do
would
some
be
crazy
happy
antics
hearing.
sometimes,
We're just gonna put it that way. I think that's something he would
but
be happy hearing.
that's thinking back on the stories. It definitely seems like it's something that's watching over. Maybe it could be that it was the same exact situation that happened with him, or he's seen it before.
Right, like it's
That's why
a,
he's.
that's what he's about. Yeah,
Mhm.
I really
Because
don't.
he does. I do get protective.
Yeah,
protective and worried. I think maybe that's why he was pouting, because I did kind of tell him off, and I was like, look, I'm fine. You don't have to watch me here. When we were at the lake house, but I'm fine with him doing it here, because here I'm alone.
Okay.
So I think that's why he's more vocal, or like
Present.
he's more present here. Because he'll be closer, because like you said before, he'll kind of stand in the doorway sometimes, or like. Oh yeah, it did pick him up. I did actually just see the mist. No, it could just be IEP. or too much coffee. Who knows? The energy doesn't feel bad, but I know whenever I'm around certain people that it's like he will make himself more known. He gets worrisome.
Rightfully so. I mean, it's kind of like a who's coming around. I think he's more like a big brother mentality.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's how he kind of
the protective older brother. That's how he kind of comes off.
That's the protective side of him. But I really don't feel him as anything else. And I think he might be a little bit threatening. Hi, Chicken Empire. I think he might be a little bit more threatening as far as like to others that do overstep a boundary, because I think he's like, I have the ability to manipulate a little bit.
Yeah.
I look at the chat sometimes, yes. But not too much. As long as it's on topic. But yeah, I would say in all of this, like, do you consider yourself somebody who like would be able to exercise your abilities if you like learn them? I go by Snow and he goes by Shine. I'm not giving my real name. Cool, thanks.
And if you're ever on Twitch, you'll see me in her other channel as Dragon's Den. So there's also that.
Yeah.
But yes, because I think one of the first conversations that we had, we were talking about, like, because we watched Sam and Colby. They were talking, I think they were with Selena Spooky Boot and Call Me Chris at the Winchester Mansion.
Right.
And they were talking about the numerology.
Right, we talked about that. Yeah, and then you're in 11?
I'm in 11.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I think that's really when I started to be like, okay, so it's not just the fact that sometimes I do go a little crazy. Like, I knew I was different, because that's always why I'm like, I would always be like the person that was like, okay, tell me what's wrong. What's going on with you? And then typically the people would be like, okay, I'll talk with you. I have the whole therapist mentality sometimes, because if I feel like energy is off, I'm gonna be like, where? I can smell it. I need to help. But yeah, so for those who don't know, in numerology, you basically just add up each individual digit with your birth date, and you will come up with a 2-digit number. Then you add those two together, and whatever you get, that's your life path.
Right.
So typically it's what value? Normally you get anywhere from 1 through 9 for most people, but there's 3 outliers. It's 11, 22, and 33. In my case, my birth date came out to be the two numbers of 29, so 2 and 9.
Yeah.
After adding those two together, I still got a 2-digit number.
Right.
And with that, basically, if I remember correctly, it's indicative of the psychic,
Right.
or like the path of the empath. So that's when I was like, oh, so this all makes sense. That's why. Obviously, I'm very scientifically inclined, because, you know, I'm a nerd and an engineer.
It happens.
So I take things with a grain of salt, but I was like, looking back at all the situations that have happened, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, so you are And 11 is a spiritual teacher, healer, and visionary. That's what you would hit on.
Mhm.
You're like highly intuitive, right?
Yes.
Sensitive and
So like
empathic.
that's yeah.
That's what you would have.
So after seeing all like doing all the research on it, I was like, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense. And then of course I started tisming and deep diving into it, and I was like, how could I do this? Like, they're like, yeah, best tool to actually utilize your gifts are to use tarot cards,
And
which is
you just recently started kind of figuring how to mess with those, right? Or started actually diving into them.
I did because we were actually having a movie night with Nanners.
That's right.
Because we had just finished watching together. And I just had the sudden urge, like something was driving me to mess with him. As I kept on looking over, because I have him to my left on an ottoman that is supposed to hold a TV, but is now another desk. And I pulled 3 cards. Nanners helped me out with it, because I was like, I don't know how to, I don't understand the meaning of the cards. Yeah, because I haven't done it much.
I have a cheat
But
deck. It's called Meaning Tarot. Look, I'll show you real quick. You can keep talking, but I'll show you. I'll pull it out right now.
But I'll actually have to go back and look at it, because I sent it to Nanners.
So you pull the cards.
I did the 3 method.
Okay.
And the cards that I pulled I know it's the past, present, and future.
Yeah, you see how mine will kind of give you a small breakdown of each one. That's interesting. That one just came out too. I just pulled at random.
The Knight of Cups.
Yeah, the Knight of Cups.
Well, what's funny is the first card that I pulled whenever I did it was actually the Queen of Cups. We talked about it, but I forgot what it was. But it was like emotional intuitiveness. That I'm very intuitive type of situation. Then for the present, I pulled the Page of Pentacles, but it was reversed.
Yeah.
So basically telling me that I'm lazy. I'm lazy.
You're lazy because you were in reverse. Or you're in a lazy state right now.
Yeah, I'm in the mindset of not pushing forward with something.
Right.
And then for the future card, I actually pulled up the Knight of Swords reversed.
See, I don't really do a 3. I don't do any kind of method, so to speak. I don't. For everything, any kind of divination I've ever done, it's always been intuitive. It's never been a certain amount, and I never ask for my future, because that's for me. I fully don't agree with that. That has to do with my my faith too. I'm like, nope. Like, my future is not meant for me to know. It's meant for me to walk
experience.
So, because I feel like in my understanding, I feel like when you know your future, you're more likely to try to manipulate your present, to try to attempt to get there, rather than. Sorry, our things are messy, and I don't know if it's your friend. And I'm like, because it gets dark on your side, and then my camera gets dark, and I'm like, will you stop? Will you stop? But at any rate, I feel like we owe it to ourselves to live in the present, and when you ask too much about the future, you're ruining your chance, and then you're allowing yourself to get anxious again because you're focusing where you shouldn't be, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And
so I
was just trying that method.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
that's definitely why I wanted to test it out, because I definitely did the whole intuitive thing, because I laid them out in front of me, and I kind of closed my eyes, and I was like, okay, this card feels right.
Uh-huh.
Then I flipped it over, and it was the Queen of Cups first. And the cards made sense, at least the past and the present. Because, yes, I'm being lazy about things, and it's about to bite me in the ass.
Like I'm not taking initiative where necessary, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
get it.
doing what I need to be doing. But, yeah,
Do you
so...
feel like now that you've kind of gotten a bigger grasp on like your spirituality, do you think, and like your abilities, right? Do you think that that's a part of what you're supposed to be working with? Do you believe that
That's...
that's okay? Better question. Do you feel drawn to that? Do you feel drawn to like that being a part of your everyday?
Yes and no. Because even as a kid, um, more so whenever I became an adult, but one of my dreams was to do like what Robin Williams did, where he would make people laugh, make people smile, make people feel better. And I was like, that's why voice acting would be so much fun.
Oh, I agree.
That, and I can let the voices go crazy.
So I was talking to my son about this the other day, about how like the desire of your heart, like when you feel like you have like a purpose, or like you feel like you're drawn to being A, B, or C, right?
Hmm.
Like people are drawn to music, or people are drawn to like this is what I have like a passion for. Like
Hmm.
it's there because that's what's been that's the part of you that's been placed. Like that's the part
Yeah.
that like God wants you to find a purpose in it. Even
It's
if
the
it's not,
predetermination.
yeah, even if it's not like, oh, I really have a desire for like performance. That doesn't necessarily mean you belong in Hollywood. That means that your gift is
Hmm.
meant to serve the kingdom somehow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See, and for me, like I've always had like a draw to things that are like this, like the conversation of what we don't see. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
What we don't usually see. Like I've always had a really big um, pull to um, to the spiritual side of things and paranormal and supernatural, like huge, always since I was a child. And
Hmm.
I think the more I'm in it now, the more I realize, oh, maybe that's what I'm drawn to the most. I love storytelling. I love, you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I love I love history, but I don't like how it's taught. But
Yes.
not that I believe that I should be a history teacher, but I love deep diving into stories of the past. You know what I mean? And then
Having deep conversations.
yeah, and then it's even cooler to me when I realize that I am given a gift of discernment and of spiritual discernment and communication and prophecy. So I'm actually able to kind of put it together. Like I can actually see it in my mind, and I think it's pretty cool. Um, or even communicate with somebody who's been in a situation, you know. But I think, you know, part of what it is that you deal with, or part of what it is that you have, is like you are blessed to have that empathy, because that empathy, it's obviously not just in the spiritual realm, but also in a physical, right? And
Hmm.
you can pick up on on what people are needing. And I think that that's a gift. And even if you are to be that person, say you are gonna be somebody who does do like voiceovers and stuff like that, you have somewhere to draw from, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
um
And well, that was another thing, is there's something that a lot of my friends have told me I would be good at. My mom even said this too, that like I could have, if my father had listened to me, I could have gone into like being a therapist
oh yeah.
or like a psychiatrist or something like that, just because I've...
I mean, you still can.
Oh, yeah, but the money, I'm already so far in debt with student loans, I can't do it again. But it's something, like, apparently it also helps that I have been told that my tone sometimes, especially like if I'm trying to console somebody or
Yeah.
just talk with them, it can be soothing.
Have you ever heard of peer counseling?
Peer counseling?
Like you
I
can
have.
like you can be certified with a state to work like peer to peer. Like if you do deal with like certain things that you might have been diagnosed with, you can work in like groups and stuff like that to kind of help with them opening up.
Maybe I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, see what it is, because it's different for every state. It's not as easy in every state, but different states also offer different positions in it, like different types. So yeah, look into that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, because at least you could feel like you're doing something. You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
feeding into what it is that you know.
Ultimately, because whatever it is, it's been predetermined for sure that I'm here to make people feel better, whether about themselves or just brighten their mood slightly. Like I said, whenever you weren't feeling good yesterday, just rolling with the punches and
Right.
making it through better than you were. I think that's the big dream. And any way I could do it, even if it's just talking with people. Cool. I did something.
Yeah, I get it. So what's your takeaway on everything that you've understood? Do you feel like the gift that you've been given? Because I see it as a gift. I feel like some people don't, because of some of the things that they have to face, but I mean, I still see it as a gift. Like, do you think that the gift that you've been given is what's placed you in a understanding of where you want to be? Or do you think that with that gift, like you're being like you're being tested? Or does that make sense? Like what do you see out of that?
Sorry, I see him moving.
Yeah, I saw him
earlier. He just went away. I could see his action, like I could see his body, and I could see the shadow. I feel like it's definitely a gift that I was given. Because I've noticed that typically if somebody has some sort of issue with something, if they know me well enough or they trust me enough, they'll first thing they'll come right to me and be like, "Hey, we need to talk. I need some help." Or I know you'll listen and you'll give me sometimes sound advice. Obviously it hasn't been easy dealing with it, because I think this could also be apart from my other mental illnesses. But with my own emotions, sometimes I try to hide them and kind of like push them down. You know, the stereotypical like guy thing where like the whole guys don't cry, the guys don't show emotions or whatever.
You know, okay, I know this is we're gonna touch this real quick because you're there. You know that the word demon means negative emotion, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when when you're fighting your own
Yep.
one thing that unfortunately a lot of people think in Christianity, like if you identify as, and I'm using this because, and I've said this many times, I am a Christian, so I can only speak on this behalf. A lot of times people assume that Christianity means you let go and you just don't face it, and that's not the case. Do you see my camera? And that's not the case. Like, shadow work is meant to be done in Christianity as well, and people they don't want to pay attention to that, but because they think that, oh no, you're just supposed to like cast your fears to God and not pay attention. But no. There's a very clear part of scripture that says, don't talk about the plank in your brother's eye without pulling out. Don't talk about the splinter in your brother's eyes without pulling out the plank in your own. Meaning, you have to learn how to face inward before you work on anybody else or help anybody else, right?
Yeah.
And a big part of that is maybe things get more intense around you or more active around you when you're supposed to be, because what's inside is fighting what's outside, but you haven't
Hmm.
controlled it. You haven't faced
Yeah,
it and released it to control it. You know what I mean?
and that's definitely something. I guess I never really learned. Um, I mean, obviously, I blame myself. I was one of those kids where I had to grow up a little bit quicker
I
than
get it.
most kids should have.
Yeah, I get it.
Obviously, I had to be the older brother and had to take care of my mom because dad was deployed. Um, but I think I obviously my empathy is a gift because I can aid people, but at the same time, I can't do it for myself.
Mhm.
Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't.
Mhm.
But one of the things that I've noticed about me being an empath is a lot of the times, because I can feel their emotions, sometimes I will kind of pile it on top of the ones that I already have.
Right.
And if I don't deal with my own, it's happened. Eventually, I'll blow up.
Yeah.
Not healthy. Don't do that.
Can do that. Yeah.
Don't do that. Ultimately, I'll say it's like a blessing and a curse, but really it is a gift. I wouldn't change anything about it.
Mhm.
It makes me me. It's like the whole ideal of this is my rifle. There are many like it, but this one is mine.
Right.
Uh, Realistically, no two coins are made the same.
Mhm.
So while people can understand from a certain aspect, it's not always the same.
Well, you'll get there. I know
Yeah.
this is funny because, and I'm gonna say this real quick before we say our goodbyes, but um, I've had a lot of instances in other interviews where um, I have people telling me that they feel like they had like a therapy session that they didn't think they needed. And it has to do with the fact that they've, experienced something spiritual, and it's like because they haven't been able to really discuss this openly, that it's
Mhm.
helped them piece together the reason that they experienced it. Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Like
well,
that buddy,
I
like that
still.
buddy you got hanging out over there.
Yeah, I know he's standing on the edge of the door.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of peeking, and I can see his. Yep, there he goes. I can see you in the camera, dude. Like I know you're there. You can watch, but you're gonna be seen. And yeah, he is tall. Because the top of his head, like he just showed back up the minute I looked away. Um, I could see his head is actually at the top of the door frame.
Right. So for those of you who are unaware of how this is, the sea is not always a physical sea. It's a lot of times a see. It's darker now, so that's why I know he's there.
Yep.
Um, it's more of a mind's eye. Like when you're reading a book, you can imagine the character because you can see it in your mind. Like so, sometimes we can see the energies. Like right there, he's fully there now.
Yeah. And the minute I look,
Um,
yeah, he's got. I feel like he just walked back
mhm.
because I don't. Yeah, I see his
Yep.
arm.
Yeah.
Now it's
You
gone.
can. It's because, and I know it's so weird, but like, and if you pay closer attention to what we're showing right now, you can see like
Right
the
here.
pixel. You can see the pixels kind of switching around because there's energy in that area.
Yep,
Um,
he's coming back. You can see his head right there, and then it's gonna go that way. Yep.
but yeah, so that's why like we're not making this shit up. There's something there, and then that's I sense it. I've sensed it. He
You're okay,
sees
dude.
it. He knows what he's looking for because he's more familiar with the
You don't have
energies
to
than
be.
me.
You don't have to be shy.
But But yeah, so at any rate, I hope this has helped kind of bring clarity for you. I appreciate you sharing your story.
Of course.
Um,
Well, thank you for letting me come on here.
when it comes to your friend here that's hanging behind you, we'll figure out
Hmm.
who that is later. I think
Yeah.
I think you should come on when I do my readings on Sundays. And we can see if we can connect. If I
Okay.
can connect with who's with you, and we can see what goes on from there. But
Absolutely. I mean, either way, we've definitely kind of got that it's like the older brother energy,
yeah, he's definitely an older brother energy.
which that's why he's kind of shy right now. Like he'll kind of peek in every now and then and
He's
look at the
just like, I
camera and
don't
then
really
look
want to be a
back.
part of this, but yeah, yeah.
And
But
that's
yeah,
perfectly fine.
yeah. But again, I appreciate you hanging. Um,
I appreciate you having me. This was
and
fun.
uh,
I love
yeah,
telling stories.
if anything new happens, um, yeah, well, you know where to share your stories in
Hey, yep, yep, yep,
Discord.
yep.
Um, and yeah, I hope we'll talk soon because obviously we'll probably play games or something later tonight. But but yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. Oh yeah, because you might have your D&D.
Well, I may not be able to go because gas is expensive.
Oh,
What are you
well,
messing with? I heard that.
it's saying goodbye. Well, goodbye to you too.
She says goodbye.
Alrighty. Well, I am gonna let you go. But thank you again.
All right.
Thank you for being here on Snow Scary Adventures.
Uh,
And yeah, thanks to everybody who was coming in, everybody who was in and out, anybody who was lurking and listening to the conversation. Obviously, this is gonna be on YouTube, so if you want to go back on it and you want to see it and you want to see it and you see what I saw, then yeah, you're welcome to do that too. But yeah, thank you, thank you again.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, lovies. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for hanging out. Um, I will be on later tonight on my other channel, Touch of Snow, on Twitch and Kick and most likely X. Um, just probably playing games with my best friend. I'm not quite sure yet if I'll be playing with her or what we'll be doing. Or if I'm just going to be playing something else on my own or doing something else random on my own. We shall see. But I do hope that you guys have a wonderful night. Again, check out the links in bios. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.